Hi, I'm Connie Myers, and welcome back to my Kick Butt Leadership Interview Series presented by CKM Solutions Group. Today, I have the distinct honor of having a gentleman that I didn't really know that much about. I knew a little bit about him, but about a year ago, I learned a lot more, and I'm super excited. This is Bob McKinnon. Bob, thank you so much for joining us.
You're certainly welcome, Connie. I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, good, 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 good. The first question I ask everybody is, were you a leader as a child?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. If you talk to my mother, she would say, "Yep." Yeah, I was raised in a good, strong family. I'm so blessed to have had such a wonderful parents and a sibling, my sister, and so leadership was modeled to me. My dad was a leader in the community and the church and his business. My mom was very active in lots of things. So I saw it modeled in a very loving and gracious way. I liked what I saw. I emulated my mom and dad a great deal. So I remember in some of my mom and dad's stories said, Bobby, I was also kind of adventurous, but I was the guy that my dad was a builder at the time. So we had always huge stacks of lumber at our house. And I was the kid that would go in and get some saws and hammers and nails and invite my entire neighborhood over. One time we literally built a tower, Connie, that went like 25 feet in the air and had a ramp. And we got one of those little two-wheel scooters. I mean, and in fact, it got to the point parents wouldn't allow kids to go to Bobby's house.
Oh, that's a great story. That's why I always lead off with this question because I always get a great story about somebody's past. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, what is one of the skills you learned from your parents that you used as a child that has helped you to get where you are today?
Well, my dad primarily. My dad was he used to say to me all the time, you have to earn the right. You can't just be a leader. And so I watched my dad, for example, leading in church. He was an elder in our church, and he had his own business and was in various Rotary clubs. So I saw a man who had great qualities of he knew what he was doing, first of all. He always had earned the right, and he shared that with me all the time. He encouraged me, to be the real deal, to be very empathetic with people. He was just master. In fact, he was a Dale Carnegie course instructor when I was a kid. I
Wow.
mean, so to be raised by a Dale Carnegie course instructor, how to win friends and influence people, that's a blessing, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is truly a blessing. I mean, being not just a studying Dale Carnegie, but being an instructor. Oh yeah, you had good training.
Yeah, I had great, great, great training.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I know that I read that you started one of the first, you were the regional owner for one of the first Century 21 offices. And did I read that right? 1972?
Yes, yeah, okay. Which dates me 48. You're looking at a realtor that's been here 48 years. Now,
Wow.
I'm also smart enough to say, some people can say, I've had 1 year experience 48 times. I'm not one of those guys. In real estate, which is the deep channel of my life, I've been a little bit of everything you could do. I've listed and sold. I owned some small real estate offices. And then a group, two wonderful guys in Los Angeles, John Gherkin and Bud Cashin, called me and said, "We're starting this new thing called Century 21. Would you like to join us here in Los Angeles?" So yes, I got to jump on the wagon with the very first region that was sold by Art Bartlett, and which means we were on the ground floor of starting Century 21. 28 years later, after several different roles in the company and traveling all over the country and internationally, we're pretty proud of what we built there. There was a great opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity for real estate to change, make a change, and we were just there at the right time. So yes, selling those very, very first franchises, helping them, growing the company into the international company it became, later being sold to HFS, which I was involved in that transition too for about 2.5 years. But Century 21 was a grand chapter in my real estate life. Learned a tremendous amount about sales, leadership, organizational styles during that period of time.
What do you think what was one of the major differences that Century 21 made for the real estate industry?
Well, the innovation of franchising in the early 70s changed the business entirely. I say there's been the major innovations is that up until then, Connie, real estate was very provincial, very local. Then in 1970, the average real estate office was 12 people. It had 11 men and 1 woman. And guess who the top agent was? Sales producer was the woman, even back then. But it was small mom and pop provincial little bit cottage industry. And then all of a sudden, here comes these major regional, Long and Foster in Los Angeles. It was Forrest E. Olson Company. Here comes these big, giant independent companies. Now, all these little guys, these little 10, 12 people, no way they could compete with Forrest Olson Company. So a moment in time where we had an opportunity to say, okay, all you little guys, if we band together, we'll be big. We call that synergy. And that's what we sold. And it was very successful. So franchising really changed the way, after Century 21 opened franchising up, obviously it has not stopped to this day. Lots and lots of franchise models out there.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I remember, by the way, Bob, I call those moments in time. I call those crystalline moments. And there's always a gift or opportunity when those happen, good or bad. So I actually started in the insurance business I was Rookie of the Year for Metropolitan Life Insurance in 1979.
Yeah.
And I had a very dear friend who kept trying to get me to come into the real estate business. She was a Century 21 agent. She says, you need to do this. I said, I'm already got my nights taken up with insurance. I don't need my nights and weekends with real estate too. So I almost made the leap. But then I've been around the real estate industry for almost 40 years myself. I've never been a realtor myself, but my husband and I, we owned what turned out to be the largest home inspection network back when you had to explain to a realtor.
Yes, I recall that.
Yeah, you had to explain to an agent why they wanted to have a home inspection, and they go, I don't think so.
Well, home inspectors and realtors have had a love-hate relationship going on for all these years. We can't do without you, but Dad, Bern, you sure mess up a deal.
Oh, yeah. Well, we sold that business back, I think it was like 90 or 91, something like that. But we were at the time, we were the largest national company in the country. So you went from, you had your own, was it your own independent real estate company after you left Century or Century 21? Or what was that little interim period you had there before you came to EXIT?
Well, when I left Century 21 after all those years, I kind of semi-retired, but I kept my foot in the business. And I worked alongside Mike Ferry in the early days to create some new training and coaching products. And then I kind of went into the coaching business. I had McKinnon Enterprises for several years, in which I was a personal coach to real estate agents, managers, brokers, franchise. And I was just a small one-man show, but I was rocking along there for 15, 16 years, had a nice clientele base. It was really kind of cool. And I decided to go to the National Association of Realtors conference. It was it was 2000, and it was at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, because I kind of missed all my Century 21 buddies. So I went to San Francisco NAR just to reconnect, and had just a hoot of a time, all of us connecting. We're walking through the big where all the suppliers are one day, and here's this great big teal tall. I said, what the hell is that? And the guy says, oh, that's that new EXIT Realty company. I said, I've never heard of it. So he said, there's the founder. So I go over and talk to Steve Morris, who's the founder of EXIT. And we just get acquainted. Who are you? What do you do? I told him I was Bob, and I used to have a region for 25, 28 years in Century 21. What are you doing now? Nothing. He said, I got something. I got a project for you. So that's how EXIT and I kind of started walking side by side in that. And it's just been a wonderful walk side by side as a consultant, and now then helping them as the director of leadership development. So it was just one of those. In fact, can you think of it, Connie? 28 years of building one major franchise, Century 21, and then you quit, and you're meandering around out in the universe, as a lot of us do. And then all of a sudden, I come alongside EXIT Realty, and it's identical. We're selling franchises. So I look at it this way. I have found some of the most amazingly sweet, supportive people at EXIT Realty. And I've got a whole second shot at this. I mean, what a blessing, isn't that?
Oh, what a blessing. Well, I have to tell you, everybody I have met at EXIT Realty, and it's such an honor to be a partner with EXIT.
Yeah.
I really, everybody I have met there has just been absolutely phenomenal. I send Tammy little notes all the time saying, you've got the best people surrounding you could possibly have. So yeah, it's from the time that you and I started talking and you interviewed me, it was like, okay, I need to get to know Bob McKinnon better. So I did my research.
Well, I tell you, you mentioned Tammy, and I don't want to make this a total EXIT commercial, but leadership in real estate has evolved. As all leadership. I mean, back in the 50s, we were reading Peter Drucker, and we were reading management books. We were going to management seminars, how to manage people. We became good at it. Real estate has, great systems and management, but one of the problems we had was leadership and management are just not the same.
No. Absolutely not.
And so with the John Maxwell evolution of real estate, which I'm a certified member of John Maxwell's team as well, and Augmendino's Leadership Institute, I started studying leadership. I studied management, how to manage a real estate office. But here's what I found. You can't manage these real estate agents. they're totally unmanageable. So you don't manage people, you manage money, you manage listings, you manage systems. What do you do with people? You lead them. So
absolutely,
leadership has made a real shift in the last 15 years away from management. Now, when you start reading the new leadership guys like Maxwell and Augmendino's leadership stuff, and particularly probably my favorite is Simon Sinek.
Oh, yes.
Simon Sinek's style and his book and his Start With Why and Eat, Leaders Eat Last. That's a whole different deal. You see, I just heard something from Simon this last week. He says, anybody can go to Barnes & Noble and ask for the self-help section. And what are you going to find? Thousands of books. He said, ask for the help others section. What do you find? Not much. He says, you see, that's what leadership is. It's in the new leadership is helping others. That's why I so adore EXIT Realty. EXIT Realty's whole premise is they believe in building people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not so much real estate agents or this or that and the other. Let's build people. that human potential in the real estate business, I think, has been underdeveloped. Now, you'll find that NAR says we have 1.5, close to 1.5 million realtors, of which our industry allows 100% turnover every 4 years.
Yeah.
So leadership has allowed 100% failure of 1.4 million people every 4 years. Shame on us.
Oh, completely. You know, I think
Shame on us.
I'm also a graduate with certified with John Maxwell, and I truly, I've always believed that. I mean, any kind, and when I've been in leadership, any kind, it's always been to support others and help them move forward. And I think that's one of the things I admire most about all of you over there at Exit, is because it's not about you, it's about how you're helping others and supporting them. But you're right.
Absolutely.
I believe leadership is way under, not served, but underdone. I can't think of the right word
Yeah.
right now, but
So
and
is it smart? Is it smart, I guess, for a company to make that your primary point of difference? We have, all real estate companies have training and technology and all of this stuff, and it's all good stuff. But at the end of the day, I've got to lead you, motivate you, teach you. One of our brokers in New York, Susan Hamlin, I was talking to her the other day. She said, Bob, I don't recruit real estate agents. She said, I rescue them. I mean, come on. There's just so many of them that need some help and need some love and need some encouragement. Isn't
totally.
that just the sweetest thing?
That is adorable. I think there needs to be a lot more saving going on out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So tell me about your podcast, Real Leadership, and your role now. I mean, we talked a little bit about how you have to support leaders. I've listened to a few of your Real Leadership, and they are phenomenal podcasts. And by the way, thank you for having me be on one of them, by the way. So
yeah, you were a great star. I enjoyed your interview, by the way.
Oh, thank you. So tell me a little bit about, first of all, why did you start Real Leadership, and what is your vision for it? And it obviously is your passion. You can tell that dramatically. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Well, I've learned over the years that I can only influence so many people. My span of influence is pretty small, as if it was just what I say and what I write, and what I wanted to do, Connie, was to kind of broaden the scope of how many people I could talk to. And when I started this nearly 3 years ago, podcasting was kind of new. I love Bill Risser. His Bill Risser's podcast for real estate is just spectacular. So I kind of see that, and I started it 3 years ago. I wanted the two words, real and leadership. I wanted it to be about real estate and real estate people. That's all we talk about typically, or people who are influencing real estate. So when I started, I started at the top. I went to Brad Inman, Tammy. I went to Stefan Swanepoel, and I started interviewing all these big thought leaders in real estate. But the more I talked, I started dropping down into the practitioner world. And so I started talking to like a Susan Hamlin, and started listening to her story. I mean, this lady moved from Arkansas to New York City, Long Island, didn't know anybody, and starts a real estate company from scratch.
Wow.
Now I'm thinking, that's pretty dadburn interesting.
Yeah, so that's very bold.
When you can talk to Susan Hamlin, and you can talk to all of these wonderful people, and Patrice Cormier up in Canada says, Bob, I opened my real estate company with me and my brother-in-law. We just sat there the first day looking at each other, Today, she's the #1 office in all of EXIT Realty. Got one of the most gorgeous, beautiful real estate offices that is truly unbelievably powerful. But at the core of it is Paris's heart of caring and sharing and building people. So, man, the subject matter interviews I have available are just endless. So I went out and interviewed Chuck Lamb, our first broker in Century 21. I interviewed the other day. I had our two technology people, kind of the dueling techies, and it's just been delightfully fun. And most of them are real live people who said, I opened my real estate office here, and now it's here, and they tell you how they did it. And man, sometimes it's brings tears to my eyes. But that's true. I think, Connie, anybody doing podcasts or books, we're finding ordinary people who just did extraordinary things. They did it through their vision and their hard work and their passion, and they didn't give up. And they've lived through recessions. They've lived through all kinds of stuff. Those are just sweet stories. So that's what I do.
I have to tell you, I think for me anyway, everything I've done in my entire life, I used to think I just was a cat with 9 lives and 9 different careers, but really all of it was just training and experience for me to do what I'm doing today. And finally, I finally figured out my purpose at 70.
Well, good for you. Is it fun?
So things are kind of crazy in the real estate business right now. So when it comes to leadership, especially in these really, really busy times, what is a really good piece of advice that you could give to somebody that maybe is overwhelmed by their office? Maybe they have 20 agents, or maybe they have 10, or maybe they have 200 or 1,000, but it's so busy and it's so overwhelming right now. What is a piece of advice from a leadership point of view that you could give people that are maybe a little overwhelmed, and how to handle that?
You have a choice in leadership, or you have a choice. And so many real estate brokerage owners, John Maxwell's second to last book, Leadership, the first shift was move from being the soloist to the conductor. I would bet you 40% of all the people who own real estate brokerages are still a soloist. They're out listing and selling real estate. So they're obviously very busy. The dilemma with that is you can only do and earn and create what you can personally produce. So when a leader becomes the conductor, they have to open their heart and time and their schedule to other people. So if I'm going to build an orchestra that plays beautiful music, I'm going to have to get to know my oboe player and my drum player, my percussion. I got to get to know them. I got to read the book Dream Maker and find out what their dreams are. And I've got to start getting with them. It's a decision, first of all. If you're so busy, it's just like kids. Come on, Dad, let's go play ball. No, I'm too busy. I have no time for that. Same decision we make with raising children. Are we going to stop, put our phone down, and say, let me get to know you? I love to say to real estate brokers, if you could go out there, if you as a broker could say to agents in your community, has anyone loved you enough to teach you this business? Yes or no?
Wow.
What? A lot of people are going to say no.
No.
What if I'm your guy? What if, Connie, I could love you enough to teach you this business? Now, I'm not being a soloist anymore. I'm becoming a conductor that's building people that make my orchestra that makes the music. To me, that's just such a different mindset.
Oh, it is so completely different. I remember back when we had our national home inspection business that I was calling on a lot of brokers and we were doing a lot of presentations at offices and stuff. And I would have agents come up to me all the time and saying, well, they gave me a phone, they gave me a desk and said, go for it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. And
that was it until probably 1975 that we started putting some organized training. But it was phone and phone book and good luck. That was it.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see that the industry has progressed past that and that there are some really good thought leaders out there throughout the country that are trying to change that pattern. But I think you're right. I think there's leadership. A lot of leadership has let down the real estate agents because they are trying to be a dictator versus being a support system.
Yeah.
That's the thing I love most about John Maxwell stuff. I love it.
Well, I tell you what, to move from manager, dictator, ruler to helper leader, servant leader is a hard choice. Not everybody can do it. They're not even made that way. Some people don't even care that much about people. I had a real estate broker a few years ago. I said, why can't you recruit? He says, I don't like people at all. His name was Mike. That's what I did for you. Sell that damn real estate company. Which he did. Because he admitted, I don't like people. I don't even know what I'm doing there. Isn't that funny?
Oh, that is, yeah. Well, I think there's a few of them out there like that. You should consider selling.
That's right.
Well, any last thoughts that you'd like to share as far as leadership, especially right now with things being so crazy?
Yeah. Well, we have again, situations create opportunities, don't they? I've been to my first live events just in the last couple of weeks. I was just at a big exit meeting in Birmingham, Alabama, 100 people in the room. And I'm telling you, it was a party. They were happy to be together. They were happy to be out. They were happy to be in a seminar, happy to have speakers. I don't think we fully understand yet what that sequester has done to us. But here's the opportunity. I think the opportunity to get people together, get them back together, get them in a room, talk, have fun. To me, the best real estate managers and owners, you guys have 2 words: food and fun. I mean, if you find any really great real estate office, somebody's in charge of food and fun. And I think we're starved for that. I think we really are. We really want to get back together. So if I were a real estate leader today, I would be saying, in what ways can I get my people back together? Just having some fun and reconnecting. I think that would be what a real estate company needs the most right now. Now, what that also means is, I think good old basics. I've heard of 2 major companies saying that they've come out with a listing contest. I mean, come on, that's something we used to do in the 70s. But guess what? A listing contest. I mean, how fun is that? I think just engagement. So I guess the word I'm looking for is engagement. Let's re-engage.
Right. I totally agree. Well, that's what my Kick Butt leadership interview series is all about. Kick Butt is when mindfulness meets vision, opportunity, and engagement. Yeah. So I think, the other thing is, the other day I went to one of my first big meetings, and being able to hug people again. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm such a hugger. I knew I was a hugger, but I didn't know how much of a hugger I was. But until I was actually able to hug somebody that wasn't part of my bubble. It's like,
I got tickled. Our regional that has Florida, they were talking at a big group, and they said, well, we're still kind of shut down here. We're still kind of shut down here. She says, my Lord, down here in Florida, we're licking each other. I said, I don't think I want to hear that. but I don't know. how fun is that to just hear that? I think that I do want to give you a plug if you do not mind.
Sure.
Marketing in real estate. I had a guy the other day show me a picture of the starting of the Boston Marathon, and it was an area kind of it must have been from a drone and here's just thousands of people crunched in to that starting line. And he says, okay, that's the real estate business. How are you going to stand out in that crowd? I'm thinking, well, maybe I should wear a pink hat and a tutu or something. But how can I differentiate myself from that crowd? And quite frankly, that's what's going on with so many real estate people. You can just be the best person, best trained, this, that, and the other. But until you stand out for something and can get noticed. So in a place in our society where we're having floods and fires and hurricanes and shootings and everything that we're having, I can't imagine a more sensitive, sweeter place to stand out as a realtor than to be prepared during some type of a disaster to say, let me help. Man, and for you to advertise that in your farm, for you to be prepared to do it, you don't even need an emergency to set yourself apart. Just tell people if something happens. And in fact, listen to me and I'll have you prepared. I mean, my Lord, what you're doing for us in real estate and offering, I think is an absolute no-brainer to separate yourself as a realtor, get people's attention and have them remember you. I think it's terrific. Let's see, what are the dates I'm going to do it? You told me June or July?
June,
Late June.
29th and 30th.
Yep, I will be prepared. And I'm a damn good Boy Scout. I mean, I'm a Marine and a Boy Scout, so I kind of live by preparedness. But I'll be there in your class. I strongly ratify what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Bob. I really, really appreciate it. Well, you're such a wonderful leader of the whole entire industry, your background, your history, your innovation. I mean, just you are truly somebody that the real estate industry really, I think, probably needs more now than ever before. And I love the idea that I can do my little part to help create a tool that sets people apart. I mean, that's what it was all about when I started writing the course. And I really feel that that is something that can make a difference in all kind. My vision is 30 million people in 5 years being prepared.
Wow.
So I can't,
that's fabulous.
so I can't do that by myself.
I live in Dallas, so we don't have many floods. Well, we have had floods recently, but primarily storms, tornadoes and storms and things like that. And I've got one friend that is so quick to load his truck with pallets of water and toilet paper and take off. And I've always admired him for that. And he'll go anywhere. He'll take off to Houston or the Galveston or head down to New Orleans. He's a trooper. So I'm going to join him.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Well, Bob, thank you so much for this conversation. I've been looking forward to this for a few months now. So I'm really glad we finally had the opportunity to do it. So good luck with everything you're doing and have fun out there speaking on the road.
Well, it has felt good. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, everyone. What a fabulous conversation with Bob. I admire this man beyond belief. After I started reading his story, I was like, oh, I need to get to know this man more. So thank you for joining me for Kick Butt Leadership. And I hope that you have a beautiful day. I will be back with another fabulous interview very soon. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye now.
Bye-bye.